Once you have the PowerPoint downloaded, which we talked about in the other video, you can manipulate it just like any other PowerPoint you could. So you can add photos, you can change text, you can add text boxes in. I wanted to just show you a couple of the simple things that we did today so that you can take a look at that. So the first thing that I want to do is show you how to add a new slide to the presentation. You can see over on the left we have 24 slides, and if you want to add something else in, maybe you have something from your current listing presentation that you want to just cut and paste in there. Pretty simple. You just choose up top here beside new slide, you'll see a drop down menu, a drop down arrow, and if you click that you'll get the option to decide what kind of layout you want for your slide. Okay, we're going to just choose this blank one here, which still has the header and footer that Royal LePage have created for this PowerPoint template. So now we get a new page inserted there with only the header and footer on here for you to insert whatever you want. Okay, so that was how to add a new slide in. Again, up at the top, new slide, there's that little arrow beside it. You click it and you choose what layout you want there, and you can have whether it's a title page or a section header or a page with multiple content spots, you can have that. Okay, then adding things into a PowerPoint slider is very easy as well. If you want to add some text in, you simply click on this button here that says text, and you want a text box typically, and then it gives you the little crosshairs with the letter A beside it, and you just choose where you want to put the text box, and you can start typing. Okay, so this is okay, and you have the text in there, and once it's in there you can click off, click back to it, highlight it, move it, that kind of thing. If you highlight the whole thing, you can bold it and underline it and do all the same stuff that you could do with text in any Word document or PowerPoint document that you normally would. So that's how to add some text there, and we have it in a text box. So if you want to move the text box, you simply click on it to bring up the text box, and you can see that my cursor is flashing here. We don't want that. We want to go to one of the edges of the text box so that I see the crosshair of the mouse there, and I want to click on it, hold it down, and then I can drag it wherever I want. Okay, and you can see that it'll move wherever I want it to move. So I'll drag it down a little, drag it back up, and you can see that that's what I've done. Just click the left mouse button and drag it wherever you need to drag it. The next thing you might want to insert is some pictures. So I'm going to insert a picture of, I'll use Rosie since I have her on my desktop right now. Beside the text, you have an insert picture, and we want to insert a picture from a file. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose Rosie Porter's picture, and we're going to go ahead and insert that into my PowerPoint here. And you can see that it came in very small. That's the picture size that it's saved onto my computer. So if I want to, I can change that by, instead of moving it, which I was doing before with the crosshair tool, I can go ahead and move over one of the corners of the picture and drag it out to a larger format. Okay, and I can choose that whatever size I want there. And I'm going to put it over here, and then below it I'm going to add in a second text box. So again, I'm going to go add text, and I'm going to choose to put it right below the picture here, and the same size, and I'm going to say Rosie Porter, and maybe I'll bold that by just highlighting the whole thing and choosing bold. And then below that I'm going to put another text box, and I'm going to put in an email address. So we'll just highlight all that. rosiep@royallepage.ca. So that's too big, so I want to shrink that down. So I highlight it all, and just like I could do with any text, I just make it a smaller text and I move off of it. Okay, and again, I want that a little closer, so I'm going to move that up there, and now it looks like I've created a little bit of a profile there for Rosie. Okay. And maybe I want to add in a unique picture here for this CMA or this listing presentation I'm doing. So I want to go ahead and choose another photo, and I have a picture of the house that I'm going to be doing. So I want to just go ahead and insert that in. You can see that's come in too large for my screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and move to one of the corners again, left click, and shrink it down by just moving the mouse down and to the left a little bit. Okay, so I did it there. This one has a date on the bottom that I don't really want to keep. So some of the things you can do with pictures are you can actually do what's called crop it, meaning cutting a portion of the picture out. So what the picture clicked, I'm going to say I want to crop. And you'll see that I now have these black dashes around the edges and black corners there. If I go to one of the black dashes, I get the little half crosshair, and I can click that with my left mouse button, drag it up, and it shows me that this is the picture that it'll now show. I go ahead and hit click over on anywhere outside of the picture, and it's taken that bottom portion out. And again, I can move that picture around any way that I like to move it around. Okay. So the next thing you might have is you might want to at some point layer pictures on top of each other. So maybe we want to get creative with it. I want to make this photo larger, and then I want to put me over, or Rosie in this case, over the top corner of it. So I'm going to grab Rosie's picture and I'm going to move it over to the top corner. But you can see that what's happened is that the house picture is layering over top of this picture, and we want it to be the opposite way around. So you can choose to work with either picture you want. You just have to understand what the layering is. So right now it's house on top of person. So if I right click on the person, I can go down to arrange, and you can see that it gives me the option to bring it to the front or bring it forward. So in this case, those two things will do the same because there's only two pictures. But bring to the front means bring to the front of everything on the screen. If you bring forward, it just brings it in front of the one thing that is currently layering over top of it. So if we click bring forward, it hasn't come all the way to the front because there's something else that must be on our screen, probably some of the text that's there. So I'm going to bring it all the way to the front, and you can see that that's now layering over top. And maybe I'll move this up to beside it now, and this other text box up beside it now. So again, it gives you the option to get a little bit creative with how you want to layer the photos over each other. Okay, so that was really the extent of what we got to today. The idea was to go in and work with your listing presentation, take the one that was on the Royal LePage Network and download it, and then customize it for yourself. If you have any questions, though, you can certainly email me, Matthew@royallepage.ca. Thanks.